welcome. Very good afternoon. You're watching our special show, Inspire India, where we bring you stories of those individuals who are putting in efforts to help the needy and the vulnerable during this lockdown period. There are many among us who out of pure humanitarian concern, are reaching out to the migrant workers, to the senior citizens, and those who have been hit the hardest because of the termination of many services during this period. So let's in fact bring to you these stories, and we have four special guests today on the show, and I would like to introduce all of them one by one. My first guest this afternoon is Talha Dalvi from this organization called Fi Sabilillah, and this is a Mumbai based group. They're catering to a lot of people, helping them out. Welcome to the show, Talha Dalvi. Good to have you with us. My second guest this afternoon is Advocate Mohammad Yasin, and he in fact works for this initiative called Together We Can Do It from Kash MCLF Foundation. Welcome, Advocate Rather. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I also have with me from Bengaluru, Ravi, Shankar and Latha. Now Ravi, Shankar and Latha's story is extremely interesting, how they have come together with this idea to reach out completely on their own initiative. And these are the stories, in fact, we want to tell, how people have made this effort, ordinary citizens on their own initiative, making this effort to reach out to those who need assistance at a time like this. So I want to in fact first of all bring our viewers up to date, or rather familiarize our viewers with our guests individually. Talking about Fi Sabilillah as an organization, I just want to point out here that this is a group of 20 volunteers from Mumbai who are helping the needy in this ongoing pandemic. So Mr. Talha Dalvi, if you can take us through your journey in terms of how and when did you start this, what made you take up this initiative, how many people you're catering to really?
We started this as soon as we came to know about the lockdown, and we are working into three different fields, I can say. One is we are helping people for transportation. So at that time, when we came to know that there's a lot of difficulty for transportation, especially for medical emergencies. So we have got 3 vehicles and volunteers are there. Javed is there and Ayaz Mehman is there. And their numbers, it has been sent off on social media. So whoever wants this medical emergency, they can call and we pick up them from hospitals and from their homes and send them off wherever they want to. That is for transportation. Then we are giving rations to families, distribution of rations to poor and needy people, and then we have food distribution also. So it's in the afternoon as well as in the evening. 2 times we give it right in the Bindi Bazaar near JJ, we deliver in JJ Hospital also, and the other areas which we are catering to.
Okay. All right, so you are providing free of cost transportation services for medical emergencies, you're distributing food packets in hospitals, and you're also distributing essentials in those camps and shelter homes where the poor and the needy are currently lodged because of running out of work, or rather being thrown out of the workforce at a time like this. Really appreciate your effort. Let me then go across to Advocate Rathir as well, who has again taken an initiative like this to cater to a number of families. Now this is again important, because what Advocate Rathir, what I hear from your initiative is that you're catering to those people who are stuck in railway stations and who couldn't take that particular transportation after services were suspended, and there's a huge number of people in that sense who are stranded, who are now who have nowhere to go, who probably don't even have a roof over their heads. What has been your experience? Who exactly are you catering to? What are the kind of numbers that you're catering to? And this is in Delhi, of course, from what I understand. So how many people are you catering to? Which are the areas under your purview?
So we started this initiative before this PM announced that the lockdown, whole country was locked down. So we got a lot of calls for evacuation.
Yes.
In that process, SSP CID Delhi and DSP Dilshada Parveen, Delhi JK Police and JK House Department helped us for evacuation. So we shifted them to our Paharganj in guest
Okay.
house. We hired a guest house, and there are almost near about 200 people with us. And in Shahin Bagh, we hired a flat, and in Malviya Nagar, there is another flat. There are almost 50 or 60 people with us. So almost, if I can say, there is almost like 400 people are with us. For them, we're providing free food and
Mm-hmm.
shelter. And there is a 1,000
Okay.
laborers on behalf Khirki extension, and we're providing them free food from last 30 days.
Right. Yes, it's so inspiring to see young individuals like yourself taking time out to do this. A lot of us are sitting in the comfort of our homes, watching a lot of helpless people on our TV screens, but not able to do much. But someone like you, Mohammad Yasin Rathir, you have taken this effort to reach out to those who are stuck in airports, in bus stand, in railway station, providing them food and other essentials even before the government could actually put a plan in place. It is actually so important for those of us who see these things happening around us and then make this effort something that Yasin Rathir has done. So really applaud your efforts there. Let me now bring in my third guest, Lata and Ravi. I just feel so good to see that, you're from Bangalore, and the way you decided to just do it completely on your own initiative, from what I can understand. There are a lot of these NGOs and organizations and social service organizations, but very few, we see that general people taking initiatives like you have done, because I saw that close to 250 meals a day is what you distribute, and you started really small. So tell us a little bit about your journey, Mr. Ravi and Lata. Lata, in fact, you can go ahead first.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Basically, we started from the day one when the lockdown was initiated. So basically, we also provide cooked
Okay.
meals to the people who are outside sheltered, elderly, and disabled. Since last year, we are doing this activity. And so as soon as the lockdown was initiated, we thought, okay, we have to do something to the people who are roadside shelter and disabled, because they will not get proper meals on a daily basis. So we started cooking breakfast and lunch. Initially, we started preparing for 60, 70 people,
Okay.
and lunch was for somewhere like 100 people. And day by day, it started increasing. The numbers got increased. So now we have reached somewhere like 250 food packets a day. We are distributing 252 food packets a day, and we are also providing provisions to the people who are really required in and around our area, who are staying like in the slums and migrants and other things. So we are doing our best, like what we have, because basically I'm a caterer. So we don't have any issues in cooking for larger number
Okay.
too. Basically, we run the show without any volunteer based. Myself, my wife, we both help each other, and we start cooking somewhere by 5 o'clock in the morning,
Okay.
and we finish up the breakfast distribution by 8:30, and we come back and we start again cooking lunch for the people. So that will be somewhere like more than 150 people in the afternoon. And we also make sure that before distributing the food,
Okay.
we sanitize the hand. We also create awareness saying that how best they can be safe from the virus spread. And we also tell them how when all to wash the hands and other things. So it's a part, like we have to do something
Yes.
back to our society. It's not only thinking of our own safety. And yes, I'm not blaming anybody. It's our own initiative. We thought, okay, we can do something back to our people. And on a daily basis, people at
Yes.
particular time by 8:30, they also wait for us in one particular junction. It makes more easy. We also make them to stand in line and tell them that what all the situation scenarios going on in today's thing. And we also help them to make them understand how safe they can be.
Yes, we are also running those pictures of how you distribute your food and how people are queuing up. And this is entirely your generosity, it's your large heartedness, in fact, that you're able to do it. A lot of people have resources, but they are not perhaps able to do even a percentage of what someone like you and your wife are doing. Like you said, without much of volunteers supporting you, just the two of you doing this and helping so many people. I like the name of your initiative. You call it Feed the Need. So that is perhaps the whole idea, that wherever you find a gap, you are out there to close the gap, to feed that need. Really appreciate this kind of effort. Now, if I can also ask Talha Dalvi this question about the name, what does it mean? Your initiative is called Fi Sabilillah. What is your philosophy? What drives you? And how exactly did you think of taking this initiative? Okay, I'm told Talha Dalvi is disconnected. We're trying to repatch that. So, Mohammad Yasin Rathar, can I? Okay, can you hear me, Mr. Talha Dalvi?
Yeah, I just got
I
you.
wanted to know from you, what does Fi Sabilillah mean and what is your philosophy? Because, like I was saying, there are a lot of people who can do a lot, but who have the resources, but they don't have the determination, perhaps, or the courage or the generosity that someone like you have. So, first of all, on the name of your initiative and the philosophy behind it.
The name Fi Sabilillah means for the sake of Allah. So whatever you do, you have to just do it for the sake of Allah,
Okay.
not to show it to the people, not for the photographs, not for someone else. You have to just do it for the people, for the sake of Allah. You have to do it. And talking about how we started or the philosophy behind it is one of my relatives, basically she was in JJ hospital, and for every small
Okay.
every small thing, medicine or food or something, she used to face a lot of her relatives, in fact my relatives and her immediate family, they used to face a lot of difficulties. Even if they have to go out somewhere or if they want anything, there was no transportation available. So that is where this thing, why not I have vehicles? Why not just gather some volunteers and start this free transportation services? That was the point when the free
Okay.
transportation idea clicked. About the free meals which we are providing. So this is a entire team which is here. We are working from Sydenham compound at near JJ Hospital. So we see a lot of these people who are actually helpful for us in our day-to-day lives. Maybe our barbers or those party wala who pick up our goods, and maybe the beggars who are expecting a lot in normal days. And these are the times when they expect much more. So all this, we all came together and we started with daily 200 per day, 200 per time. I mean, in afternoon 200 and in evening 200. Now we have crossed almost 400 per day per time, 200 in afternoon and 400 in the evening. And in fact, one idea which really clicked for us was apart from people who are actually giving rice and contributing whatever they can. So this thing is being done by the people for the people, obviously. So everyone is contributing whatever they can. Apart from that, the government has also launched a scheme wherein from this month onwards, for next 3 months, every individual in the family they are getting 5 kg rice. So what we did actually is from our colony we gathered this Russian rice, and we got a huge quantity of rice of rationing,
Yes.
and we are using this rice and this wheat to give it back to the people who are actually in need.
Yes. So, right, you are not only helping the needy, but you're also catering to hospitals. In JJ Hospital, you said you distribute food packets. So those frontline workers, the staff members of these hospitals, are taken care of. Do you think that there is more such initiatives required? Because there are so many of these hospitals now that are catering to people, but a lot of times people don't think of reaching out to them. Do you think that this is somewhere something that you find missing in other places, Mr. Talha Dalvi?
Yes, of course. I mean, I really love to say and hear that stay home, stay safe. But at the same time, I would say it's like each one feed one can be the. I'm sorry, I was just getting some calls. So hello, are we there?
Okay, right, right. There's a bit of disturbance in the audio there. Let me go across to
Yeah.
my other guests now. Delhi-based lawyer Mohammad Yasin Rathir, like I said, you are somebody who's taken this initiative to reach out to the stranded people. I want to ask you that personally, what has been your experience like in terms of the response that you get from people, and when you actually go to them, what is the scene like, and what is your biggest takeaway or a lesson, so to speak? You must have in fact learned a few things in terms of how these difficult times also make people tougher. Personally, what has been the experience like going across to them in these places where people are stranded?
Let me tell you a little bit about ourselves. So we were on ground from 2008. We were doing social work. We were doing plantation drives, awareness camps, upliftment of students, counseling, business management. So we are on this from last, I can say, 10 or 12 years on ground. So then MCLF has approached us for collaboration, so they would collaborate with the MCLF. So when we started this initiative, said together, hashtag together we can do it. So we circulated our numbers on social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So we receive a lot of calls for evacuation. Hello, I am from Bihar. Are you people evacuating? Can you help us, please? So with the help, I already mentioned that SSPCID Delhi, DSP Shahida Parveen, JK House, they helped us for evacuation. They provide us transportation. So that we can evacuate those people who are stuck in airports, bus stands. So then getting local calls
Right.
from laborers, especially from Bihar, they are running out of food, so they try like hell on it. So when we try to reach out at that like city extension, there are thousands of people from Bihar. So when me and Sabah is founder of another part, is the founder of the foundation. So when we reach out to those people, they I just literally cried because they told me, "Are you gonna come tomorrow again? Can you give us again food?" So it really hurts because in this
Okay.
lockdown, those only the laborers and the technicians who rely on their wages to spend their livelihood to just eat because of their wages. So now it's all shut down. They can't work, so they can't earn. So they are so scary that tomorrow someone gonna come and give us food. Can we eat tomorrow? So it's my personal experience that this class, the labor class, has hit a lot by this epidemic virus, and they are so scary. And I got calls a lot of patients who asked for medicine. We provide them medicine because there was lockdown. We can't go door to door to provide them food, shelter. So we just tell them give us the account number. Then we distributed some money so they can buy the medicine. So we didn't get any kind of donation
Right.
from
Right.
anyone. We are doing this on our own.
Yes, then that's why we applaud such efforts, because someone like you and will inspire many others to do it, because at first sight it looks extremely daunting, but like you said, as you go along you learn from the experience, and then perhaps it inspires you to do even more. Ravi and Lata, in your case also, I was reading that initially you started small. You were traveling in your bike, but later, because you were catering to more number of people, you had to take public transport. The police allowed you to ferry stuff in an auto. So in terms of support system, how difficult has it been for you to reach out to so many people? Have you received cooperation and support from the authorities, from the district administration, so to speak, when you operate in these areas?
Yes, initially it was very difficult for us to travel in bike and distribute the foods to the people who are in need. Then we obviously arranged a public transportation, and there was an issue that without passes we can't get onto the road. And we just approached a nearby police station. We explained them the situation. They were very supportive, and they really appreciated us, and they gave us passes. to move around the places where we want to distribute the food. And yes, things were going well. Now, initially, it was really tough. Now things are very much easier because cops recognize us, and we also distribute juices and water bottles to the cops who are really working for us. And they are very close to us now. They really understand that what we want to do back to our society, and they really appreciate. And initially the problem was with
Right.
the provision. Yes, initially what we had done is we had a huge provisions arranged just because of the initiative. As days passes by, we were in a task that we had issues with the provision. And yes, there are some well wishers who had helped us out till now, because it's a mass number, right? 250, 300 people. It's not a small number, and we want to feed them a right quantity. And we also feeding these elderly people, so we have to
Right.
add a good nutritious foods to them. So things are, yeah, now it's like stable, but yes, there is a lot of requirements at the end of the day. And just as the lockdown thing initiated for a couple
Right.
of more days, yes, it's a big challenge for us to do this. And now we have a public transportation. Initially, we
It
both used
is,
to travel.
absolutely.
So that's the one challenge what we were facing.
Right.
And so,
Yes, but despite all the challenges that you mentioned, you are doing it, and you're doing it very, very successfully. I think you deserve a lot of credit for the kind of courage that you have shown, you and your wife, Lata, the way you have put this together to cater to so many people who are benefiting now. And I really appreciate what you said about how much care you take also for the elderly to make sure that they get nutritious food, hygienic food. So at many levels, your service towards the society is hugely appreciated. In fact, each one of you, whether it is Mr. Talha Dalvi or Mohammad, Yasin or Lata and Ravi for that matter, what inspires us is to see that it takes not just the willingness to do it, but also the courage to actually make it happen. A lot of us have good intentions, but to actually work it out the way you have, that is the reason why we wanted to hear your stories. And the show is called Inspire India. Surely you have inspired many Indians today with your stories. We do hope that the stories that we have shared today will reach out to many others, and they will also be inspired to take that little step, one step at a time maybe, but it can go a long way. Just like Mr. Ravi just said, that they started small, but as they went along, they realized that the need is far greater, and somehow the resources do come together and things do work out. So it's not always about how many people, sometimes it's just two, but then the number of people who benefit out of them are many out there. So we really salute the courage, the generosity, your commitment to this kind of a noble cause, your altruistic concern, completely out of pure humanitarian concern, the kind of work that is being put out, hugely appreciated. Thanks very much for joining us, and also for allowing us to share your details so that those who are interested can contribute, can contact, and even if any of you know people who need their help, can perhaps also reach out. So thanks so much for joining us on Inspire India. I would like to thank each one of you for giving us your time and for sharing your stories. Thanks for watching Inspire India.